For the second match of the day between St. James and Montgomery Academy. Play will start in about 4 minutes. Montgomery Academy taking their warm-ups. Again, this is a best 2 out of 3 with the third set playing the 15 match. The Trojans earlier defeated Prattville 2-0. Trojans now with a 18-7 season record with the win over the Lions earlier in this tri-match. We've got about 1 minute before the referees will check lineups and positions. Montgomery Academy now get their practice serves in. And we got about a minute before we'll start getting it going as volleyballs bounce off fans' heads in the stands. And that's the horn. That'll wrap up both teams' practice time as both teams prepare to greet each other at the net. The Trojans in their pink jerseys with Navy numbers. Montgomery Academy in their white jerseys and Navy numbers. Again, I just want to comment on the quality of officials that we got today. They're two top-notch officials. Both teams greet each other at the net. And we're about to get started after it gets really loud. St. James will start with Mary Lee Capulla, Kathleen Wright, Emily Olsey, Emily Poundstone, Bailey Williams, and Carson Ann Crow. St. James must have won the toss. The down ref checking the lineups and positions. Libero for Montgomery Academy comes in. He's checking the positions, starting positions of St. James now. And St. James will be serving first. The ball's rolled into play. The ball goes to Poundstone. Ball served in to the back corner. MA sets up their attack. Ball's on the line. That's a point for Montgomery Academy. Side out. 1-0 Montgomery Academy. Number 20. Number 20. The referee had not blown the ball live yet. As the scoreboard got unplugged, and there'll be some downtime to get that set up. The score is Montgomery Academy 1, St. James 0, with number 20 for Montgomery Academy serving to the Trojans. Serve comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. Gets it to Poundstone to Kathleen Wright. Ball's dug up by the Eagles. St. James called for a net violation. That's a point for MA. Montgomery Academy leading St. James now 2-0. Serve comes in, played by Bailey Williams. She gets it to Poundstone. Back row attack for Carson Ann Crow. She rolls it over the defense. MA sets up their attack. Ball, that's a kill for Montgomery Academy and a point for them. MA leading the Trojans now 3-0. Serve comes in, played by Emily Olsey. Gets it to Poundstone, back to Olsey. Cross court attack, dug up by the Eagles. Carson Crow gets their attack up, hit the Poundstone, back to Kathleen Wright, off the block. And down on the court, kill for Kathleen Wright. Point for St. James in the side out. St. James trailing now 3-1. Mary Lee Capulla, number 7, back serving for St. James. Ball comes into the middle of the Eagles defense, pushes it to the net. Push back to Bailey Williams, Bailey to Poundstone to Crow. Ball's out of bounds, but Montgomery Academy called with a net violation. St. James trailing now by 1. Montgomery Academy holds on to a 3-2 lead. Capulla ready to serve. She serves the ball to the, it's long, just barely long. That's a service error for the Trojans. And that's a side out, giving Montgomery Academy their 4th point. They now lead St. James 4-2. Serve comes in, played by Bailey Williams. She gets it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow. Off the block and on the court. That's a kill for Carson Ann Crow. Poundstone to Crow. At St. James' third point, they're trailed by 1. MA with a 1-point lead, 4-3 over the Trojans. Alan Browning, number 8, serving for the Trojans, serves it into the middle of the Eagles defense. They set up their attack. Nicely dug up by Alan Browning. They get to the Poundstone to Crow. It's a cross-court attack. Dumped by the Eagles, played by Poundstone. Alan Browning comes in and sets Bailey Williams up for the kill. Kill for Bailey Williams. Nicely done, nicely played. Point for St. James, and they even the score now at 4-4. Alan Browning, number 8, serving for the Trojans. She floats one in barely over the net. Pushes the ball over by the Eagles, played by Marilee Capulia to Poundstone. Back to Bailey Williams. The Eagles again are called with a net violation. That gives St. James a 5-4 lead. Browning still back serving for St. James. She floats one over the net. Dug up by the Eagles. They set up their offense. Poundstone gets the ball over. Browning hustles in to get the ball to Bailey Williams off the block. Eagles dig the ball up. They set up their offense. Push the ball over, played by Alan Browning. Poundstone hustles to get the ball over to Carson Crow. Ball's dug up by the Eagles. Raked over the Trojan block and down on the court for a point for Montgomery Academy. They even the score now at 5 points apiece. Number 5 for MA, serving the ball to St. James. She floats one in. Marilee Capulia hustles in. Olsey comes in, gets the ball to Williams. Williams will then tack over the block. They push the ball back in. Ball's pushed out of bounds by the Montgomery Academy offensive player, and the ball goes out of bounds. Point for St. James. St. James leading now 6-5. Emily Olsey, number 16, serving the ball for St. James. It's almost a lift. That's a block at the net by Carson Ann Crow. Carson Ann Crow with a block and a point for St. James. They now lead the Eagles 7-5. Olsey serves it in barely over the net. It's an overpass to Bailey Williams. And the Eagles again are called for a net violation. Point for St. James. St. James now with an 8-5 lead over Montgomery Academy. Olsey serves the ball in on the played by the Eagles defender, pushed up to the net, and ball's hit out of bounds. Point for St. James. St. James now with a 9-5 lead as Montgomery Academy calls a timeout on the court. Trojans break huddle, leading 9-5 over crosstown rival Montgomery Academy in Class 3A. Emily Olsey, number 16, back serving for St. James. Ball's whistled in play. Olsey serves the ball to the back corner of the Eagles defense. They set up their offense. Blocked by Carson Ann Crow and Bailey Williams at the net. Crow and Williams team up for a block. They give St. James a 10-5 lead over the Eagles. Olsey serves the ball barely over the net. Bailey Williams pushes the ball over. Played by Olsey. Olsey gets it to Browning. Browning to Carson Ann Crow. Attack dug up by the Eagles. They set up their offense. That ball's hit out of bounds. Point for St. James. St. James now with 11-5 lead over Montgomery Academy. Olsey serves the ball in barely over the net. That's an ace from Emily Olsey. The Trojans continue to apply pressure to the Eagles. The St. James Trojans now up over Montgomery Academy, 12-5. Olsey floats another knuckleball down. Carson Ann Crow up. St. James called with a net violation there. Side out to Montgomery Academy. St. James now with a 6-point lead. The score is 12-6. Serve floats in, dug up by Mary Lee Capulla. Olsey hustles over to get it. Ashley White. The Trojans can't get the ball over the net. That's a point for Montgomery Academy. St. James now with a 5-point lead. Scores 12-7. Ball's floated in, played by Allen Browning. She gets it to Olsey. Olsey back to Carson Ann Crow. Crow's blocked at the net, and the ball falls back on the St. James side of the court for a point for Montgomery Academy. St. James now with a 4-point lead. Score is 12-8. Ball's floated in, played by Browning. She gets it to Olsey. Bailey Williams gets the ball over the net. Capulla gets the ball to Crow. She rolls it over. Eagles set up their offense. Ball's tipped over. Olsey pushes the ball up. Allen Browning runs under it. Gets it to Carson Ann Crow. Cross attack. Dug up by the Eagles. Ashley White digs it up. Gets it to Olsey. Back to Carson Ann Crow. And down on the court. Carson Ann Crow with her second kill. Side out to St. James. St. James leading now 13-8 with a 5-point lead. Number 13, Carson Ann Crow back serving for St. James. Crow floats one into the middle of the Eagles defense. They set up their offensive attack. Dug up by Allen Browning. Olsey pushes it to Ashley White. She gets the ball over the block. Eagles set up their offense. Carson Ann Crow digs the ball up, and the ball hits on St. James' side of the court for a point from Montgomery Academy and a side out. St. James now with a 4-point lead over the Eagles. The score is 13-9. Serve goes into the net. That's a service error for Montgomery Academy, giving St. James a side out on their 14th point. They now lead 14-9. Bailey Williams serving for St. James. She floats one in barely over the net. Ashley White gets the ball to Kathleen Wright. Back to White. Ball's into the block. Kathleen Wright pushes the ball over the net. Montgomery Academy sets it up. They roll the ball over. Played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets it to Olsey. To Mary Lee Capulla. Ball's hit out of bounds. Point Montgomery Academy. Side out. St. James with a 14-10 lead as number 11 goes back to serve for Montgomery Academy. She serves the ball short, played by Mary Lee Capulla. Overpass, tipped down by Montgomery Academy attacker. Point to MA. St. James now with a 3-point lead, 14-11. Number 11 serves the ball. St. James, low serve dug up by Carson Ann Crow. Olsey gets it to St. James in the net. Ashley White was in the net. That's a point for Montgomery Academy. St. James now with a 2-point lead. The score is 14-12. Serve comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. Ashley White pushes the ball up. Carson Ann Crow with a back row attack. Confusion on the MA side. They roll the ball over, played by Bailey Williams. Emily Olsey gets the ball to Carson Ann Crow, who gets the ball over the net. Point to MA. Timeout St. James. Timeout on the court with the score St. James 14, Montgomery Academy 13. Number 11 for MA serving to St. James. St. James with a 1-point lead, 14-13. Serve comes in and into the net. Perfect timing. That's a service error and a side out for St. James and a point for the Trojans. Trojans lead, 2-point lead now, 15-13. Emily Poundstone comes in for Ashley White. Serves the ball for St. James and serves the ball long, gives it right back to the Eagles on a service error. St. James holding on to a 1-point lead now, 15-14. Ball comes in, played by Olsey. Carson Ann Crow saves the ball, gets it back to Olsey. Rolls the ball over the defense. MA sets up their offense. Ball might have been out of bounds. It's saved by Carson Ann Crow. Bailey Williams comes in, pushes the ball over the net. MA sets up their attack. Tipped at the line. Bailey Williams gets it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow. That ball's down. Kill for Carson Ann Crow. That's her third. Point for St. James. St. James extends their lead by 2, 16-14. Marilee Kapuya, number 7, serving for St. James. Nice slow serve, barely over the net. Montgomery Academy hits it off of St. James block and out of bounds for a point for Montgomery Academy. St. James holding on to a 1-point lead now. The score is St. James 16, MA 15. Ball comes in, serve, played by Bailey Williams. Ball's out of bounds. Point for Montgomery Academy. That evens the score now at 16 apiece. Serve goes into the net. Perfect timing again. We needed that. Side out and a point for St. James. They now lead Montgomery Academy 17-16. Alan Browning, number 8, back serving for St. James. Ball floats over to the middle of the Eagles defense. Overpass. Defended by Olsey. Pushed back up by Browning. Poundstone gets the ball to Crow. Blocked at the net. Olsey gets the ball to Poundstone. Bailey Williams tips the net and over. Dug up by the Eagles. They roll the ball over. St. James couldn't get the ball back up. That's a side out to the Eagles and a point for them. The score now is 17-17. Number 5 for Montgomery Academy serving to St. James. Kapuya comes in and takes the serve. Pushes it to Poundstone. Back to Carson Ann Crow. She tips the ball over the block. Nice save by Emily Olsey. Marilee Kapuya, she tips it over. Roll by Carson Ann Crow and it hits the court. That's a kill for Carson Ann Crow. That gives St. James a side out in their 18th point. They're now leading Montgomery Academy 18-17. Emily Olsey serves the ball into the middle of the Eagles defense. They set up their attack. Ashley White gets the ball up to Olsey. Olsey to Crow. Down it is. Carson Ann Crow's 5th kill. Nicely set up by the Trojans. They now lead Montgomery Academy 19-17. Olsey serving the ball. Serves the ball into the net for a service error. St. James now with a 1-point lead, 19-18. Serve comes in, played by Marilee Kapuya. She digs it to Olsey. Olsey to Crow on the right side. Ball's down again. Kill for Carson Ann Crow. Olsey to Crow. St. James now leading 20-18. Number 13, Carson Ann Crow back serving for the Trojans. Serve comes in, floater serve. That's an ace by Crow, perfect timing. That gives St. James their 21st point, and they're leading the Eagles now 21-18. As we start play. St. James leading 21-18. Carson Ann Crow, number 13, back serving for St. James. Serve comes in, floater to the back row. The Eagles set up their attack. Hit it into the St. James block and onto the St. James side. Side out to Montgomery Academy. The Trojans hanging on to a 2-point lead, 21-19. Number 10 from MA serving to St. James. Serves the ball in. Marilee Kapuya gets the ball up to Olsey. Olsey to Bailey Williams. Oh, a nice save by the MA defender. Olsey gets the ball back up. Alan Browning pushes the ball to Ashley White. She gets the ball over the net. MA sets up their attack. The ball's down, killed by Montgomery Academy. Score now, St. James holding on to a 1-point lead, 21-20. Serve comes in and into the net. Service error by MA. Gives St. James their 22nd point. St. James leading now 22-20 as Bailey Williams serves for the Trojans. She floats it in to the middle of the Eagles defense. Sets it up. Blocked at the net by Kathleen Wright. Kathleen Wright pushes the ball up to Olsey. Carson Ann Crow rolls the ball over the defense. Eagles set up their attack. They place the ball on the opposite cross court kill. Nicely placed by the Montgomery Academy attacker. St. James leading now by 1, 22-21. Serve comes in, played by Kapuya. She pushes it to Olsey. Olsey pushes the ball up. Ball goes into the net. That's an attack error by St. James, and that evens the score at 22 all. Timeout, St. James. The Eagles break their huddle and take the court. Play resumes. Tie score 22-22. Number 11, Montgomery Academy, serving the ball to St. James. Ball comes in, short, played by Marilee Kapuya. Bailey Williams pushes the ball to Crow, who rolls it over the defense. MA sets up their attack. Cross-court attack, right on the line. Point from Montgomery Academy. They take a 1-point lead over the Trojans. The score now 23-22. Serve comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. Bailey Williams gets it back to Crow. Back row attack. They push the ball to the net. The Eagles set up there. Ball out of bounds. Point to Montgomery Academy, and that's set point for them. The score is 24-22. Number 11 for Montgomery Academy serving for the set. Ball comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. She pushes it to Olsey. Olsey to White. Ball's down. The Montgomery Academy defender was in the net. That's a side out and a point for St. James. Montgomery Academy holding on to a 1-point lead over St. James, 24-23. Emily Poundstone back serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the back row and off the defender and out of bounds. That's an ace. Ace for Poundstone. That ties the game at 24. 24-24. Hey, y'all stop. Poundstone back serving for the Trojans. She floats it into the back row again. That's an ace again. Ace for Poundstone. The defense was crippled. That gives St. James a 1-point lead now over the Eagles, 25-24. Poundstone readies to serve for the set. Floats it in again. Play to Carson Crow. Crow gets the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone to Kapuya. Crow digs the ball up. Carson Crow gets it to Poundstone to Kathleen Wright. She tips it over. Eagles are hustling. That's a free ball. Played by Bailey Williams. She gets it to Poundstone. Back to Olsey. Hammers the ball down for the win. Olsey, her first kill, and it couldn't have come at a better time. St. James takes the first set over Montgomery Academy, 26-24. That's the way we want to end that one. And that's the way we need to start the second set. Again, this is a 2 sets out of 3 match. If it goes to the third set, they'll be playing to 15. We got about 55 seconds before lineups will be checked. Or I guess they're going to start checking lineups now. Montgomery Academy Eagles have taken the court. The down ref is checking the positions for the Eagles. The libero, number 20, comes in for place. The down ref now is checking St. James side. St. James wearing the pink jerseys with the navy blue numbers. Montgomery Academy will be serving St. James in the second set. The down referee has checked both lineups and he rolls the ball in. Number 11 for Montgomery Academy, serving into St. James defense. Serve comes in, played by Carson and Crow. She gets it to Olsey. Olsey pushes it to Ashley White. Ball down, nice kill for Ashley White. Olsey to White. St. James will take the first point of the second set as Emily Poundstone comes in for Ashley White. Poundstone to be serving for the Trojans. Ball floats into the middle of the Eagles defense. That's an ace for Poundstone. That's her third ace of the match. Point for St. James that now lead 2-0. Poundstone floats another one in short into the net. Pushed over, played by Olsey. Poundstone gets the ball back over to Marilee Kapuya. It balls attacks long, point for Montgomery Academy and a side out to them as St. James leads early in this second set, 2-1. Number 20 from Montgomery Academy serving to St. James, played by Carson Crow, saved by Marilee Kapuya. Kathleen Wright rolls it over the defense. Montgomery Academy sets up their offense. A nice kill by their right side attacker. Point for MA, but evens the score at 2 2-2. Serve comes in, played by Carson and Crow. She pushes it to Poundstone to Olsey. Ball's long. Point to Montgomery Academy. That was set up nicely. Just couldn't find the inbounds or the line. Number 20 for Montgomery Academy. Their libero serves the ball in. Carson Ann Crow gets the ball. Bailey Williams pushes it to Olsey. Olsey rolls it over the block. MA sets up their attacker. Ball dug up nicely by Poundstone. She gets it to Bailey Williams. Poundstone pushes the ball to the corner. Free ball to St. James, played by Olsey. Olsey gets it to Poundstone, back to Olsey. Cross-court attack. The Eagles hustle, get the ball over. They push it over, played by Marilee Kapuya. Poundstone gives it to Crow on the back row attack. Blocked at the net and goes down on St. James' side. Point for Montgomery Academy. They lead the Trojans now 4 points to 2. Serve comes in, tips the net. Carson Crow digs the ball up. Bailey Williams gets it over the net. The Eagles set up their offense. Dug up by Bailey Williams. Poundstone retrieves the ball, gets it a back row set to Carson and Crow. Dug up by the Eagles. They set up their attack. Carson and Crow digs another one up, gets it to Poundstone. Over to Kapuya. She tips it over the block. Poundstone digs another one up. Bailey Williams gets it to Carson and Crow, who gets it over the net. Pushes it to the net. They set up their attack. Ball's on inbounds on the Trojan side. That's a point for Montgomery Academy. They lead the Trojans now 5-2. Serve comes in. That's an ace. Emily Olsey couldn't get the ball back up. That's an ace for the Eagles. They now lead the Trojans 6-2. Serve comes in, played by Carson and Crow. She gets it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Olsey. That's down. Kill for Emily Olsey. Poundstone to Olsey. They give St. James a side out on their third point. They trail by 3. Montgomery Academy still leading the Trojans 6-3. Marilee Kapuya, number 7, back serving for St. James. Serves the ball into the middle. The ball, that's an ace. Ace for Kapuya. Point for St. James. They trail by 2 now. The score is 6-4 in favor of Montgomery Academy. Marilee Kapuya floated that one in and it hit the court before the Eagle defender could get it up. Kapuya serves the ball in, pushes it to the net. Kathleen Wright hits the overpass down, played by the Eagles. Poundstone gets it to Kapuya. Kapuya to Crow. She pushes the ball over, punches the ball over. Carson and Crow pushes the ball back to the back line. Oh, Montgomery Academy hits it into the St. James block and out of bounds. Point for Montgomery Academy. They lead the Trojans now 7-4. Number 1 for the Eagles goes back, prepares to serve the ball into St. James. Serve comes in, played by Bailey Williams. She pushes it to Poundstone to Olsey. Attacks dug up by the Eagles defender. They set up their attack. Bailey Williams comes in. Poundstone and Olsey get tangled up at the net. Falls on St. James' side. That's a point for the Eagles. They now lead 8-4. Serve comes in, played by Bailey Williams to Poundstone. Poundstone over to Crow. Oh, the ball is just long. It was wide open too. MA now leads the Trojans 9-4. Serve comes in, played by Bailey Williams. She pushes it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow, tips it over the block. Played by the Eagles. They set up their offense. Blocked at the net by Olsey and Wright. Olsey and Wright team up for a block, and that's a side out and a point for St. James. They trail by 4. The scores: Montgomery Academy 9, St. James 5. Alan Browning serves the ball in, floats it into the middle of the Eagles defense. They set up their attack. Poundstone gets the ball up and out of bounds. Point for Montgomery Academy. Side out, and that gives them their 10th point. Montgomery Academy now leading this second set 10-5. Number 5 serves the ball in to Marilee Kapuya. Kapuya gets it to Poundstone to Carson Crow in the middle. Carson Crow, that ball's dug up. Roll for Montgomery Academy gets it to Poundstone to Olsey. Olsey with a sweep kill. That's her third kill of the match. Poundstone to Olsey. She sweeps it over and past the Montgomery Academy defender. Side out for St. James, and they trail by 4. The score is Montgomery Academy 10, St. James 6. Emily Olsey serves the ball in to the front row. They push it over. Olsey saves the ball, pushes it to Crow. It's wide open. Olsey to Crow. Carson Ann Crow's 7th kill, and that gives St. James their 7th point. St. James trails by 3 now as Olsey prepares to serve the ball in to the middle of the Eagles defense. They push it to the net. They set up their offense. Dug up nicely by Olsey. Gets the ball to Browning. Browning to White. Rolled over the defense. Oh, that ball's on the line. Nice shot. Nice placement by the MA attacker. Side out. That gives Montgomery Academy their 11th point. They now lead 11-7 over the Trojans. Serve comes in and out of bounds. Service error by Montgomery Academy. Gives St. James their 8th point. St. James trailing by 3 as Carson Ann Crow goes back to serve for the Trojans. Serve comes in, a floater serve, just barely long. Service error, side out to Montgomery Academy, gives them their 12th point, and they lead St. James now 12-8. Number 10 for Montgomery Academy goes back to serve to the Trojans. Serve comes in, played by Marilee Capulia. She gets it to Olsey. Olsey to Bailey Williams. Ball's long. Attack error gives Montgomery Academy their 13th point, and they lead the Trojans now 13-8. Serve comes in. Alan Browning gets the ball. It's an overpass. Point for St. James. We got to give Alan Browning a kill for that. St. James trails now 13-9. Bailey Williams serves the ball into the back left corner as the Eagles set up their offense. That ball is out. Attack error by Montgomery Academy gives St. James their 10th point. The Trojans trail by 3. Bailey Williams serves the ball into the net. That's another service error. Side out to Montgomery Academy. The Trojans now trail the Eagles 14-10. Number 11 for Montgomery Academy back to serve to the Trojan defense. Serve comes in and into the net. Oh, that's perfect timing. Service error by the Eagles gives a side out to St. James and a point. St. James trails by 3, 14-11 as Emily Poundstone goes back to serve for St. James. She floats one into the middle of the Eagles defense, pushes it to the net. Oh, Bailey Williams saves that. Overpass sets up Montgomery Academy for a kill on the St. James side. They take a 15-11 lead over the Trojans. Serve comes out, played by Olsey. She pushes the ball to Poundstone. Carson Crow rolls the ball over. The Eagles set up their offense. Carson Crow gets the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone back to Kathleen Wright. Oh, that was almost on the line. Point for Montgomery Academy. Timeout, St. James. Score on the court is Montgomery Academy 16, St. James 11. The Trojans take the court. The Eagles still huddled up. Bailey Williams, Carson Crow, Emily Olsey, Kathleen Wright, Marilee Capulia, and Emily Poundstone on the court for the Trojans. Montgomery Academy with a 16-11 lead over St. James. Ball's whistled in. Serve comes in. played by Carson and Crow. Poundstone hustles and gets it back to Crow. Emily Poundstone gets the ball up to Bailey Williams. Bailey Williams sets up Marilee Kapuya with a cross-court attack dug up by the Eagles. Bailey Williams digs it again. Emily Poundstone. Marilee Kapuya off the block and on the court. Point for St. James. Marilee Kapuya's first kill. Point for St. James. The score now 16-12. Kapuya back serving for the Trojans. Nice serve into the middle. That's an ace. Ace for Kapuya. That's the second of the match for her. Point for St. James. They trail by 3 now, 16-13. Kapuya, number 7, goes back to serve for the Trojans. Another nice serve back in the back of the Eagles defense. Ball's dug up by Poundstone. Bailey Williams hustles, get the ball over to Carson and Crow. And it's down. That's a kill for Carson and Crow. That's her 8th kill. Point for St. James. They trail by 2 now, 16-14. Marilee Kapuya, number 7, serving for the Trojans. Nice floater serve to the back of the Eagles defense. They set up their attack. Pushed over, dug by Carson and Crow to Poundstone. Back to Kathleen Wright. Cross court, dug up by the Eagles. They set up their attack. Blocked. Ooh, almost on the line. The Trojans blocked it, but the ball went out of bounds. That's a point for Montgomery Academy. They lead St. James now, 17-14. Not sure what happened. Timeout, Montgomery Academy. They must have had a net violation. I didn't see it. Point for St. James. The score is Montgomery Academy 16, St. James 15. I missed that call. The Trojans take the court. Score now Montgomery Academy 16, St. James 15. Marilee Kapuya serving for the Trojans. She floats it over to the net. Free ball to St. James, played by Kapuya. She pushes it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow. Dug up by the Eagles. They set up their attack. Point for St. James. Carson and Crow pushes the ball back down. Score now 16-all. Kapuya still serving for the Trojans. She floats it in. Service error. Gives a side out to Montgomery Academy. Montgomery Academy takes a 1-point lead, 17-16 over the Trojans. Number 1 for Montgomery Academy, back serving to St. James. Ball served in, played by Bailey Williams. She pushes it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow. Dug up by the Eagles. Blocked by Olsey at the net. Nice block and perfect timing. Point for St. James. Side out, and that evens the score at 17-all. Alan Browning, number 8, back serving for the Trojans. Browning floats one into the back of the corner. The Eagles set up their offense. Ball's blocked off St. James and out of bounds. That's a side out and a point for Montgomery Academy. They take a 1-point lead now over the Trojans, 18-17. Number 5 for the Eagles, serving to St. James, serves it in, played by Carson and Crow. Poundstone pushes it to Crow. She tips it over the block. Eagles in hustle. Ball's pushed over, played by Kapuya. She gets it to Poundstone. Poundstone back to Crow. Ball's off the block. The Eagles dig it up. Pushed up. Carson and Crow digs the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone back to Bailey Williams. Off the Eagles defender. They dig the ball up. Roll. Alan Browning. Poundstone gets the ball. Bailey Williams again. She pushes it down the line. Smart play, but the Eagles dig it up. Roll to Marilee Kapui. She pushes it to Poundstone. Back to Olsey. Into the net. Point for Montgomery Academy. Montgomery Academy leading now 19-17. Number 5 for Montgomery Academy. Serving the ball in. Ball comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. She pushes it to Olsey. Olsey back to Carson Ann Crow. That's a kill by Carson Ann Crow. That's her 10th kill. Point for St. James, inside out. St. James trailing by 1, 19-18. Olsey, number 16, serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the middle of the Eagles defense, up close to the net. Tipped over. Olsey comes in and saves it. Bailey Williams pushes it to Carson Ann Crow. Allen Browning saves it. Ball goes down on the Trojans' side of the court. Point for Montgomery Academy. They lead St. James now in this second set, 20-18. Serve comes in, played by Marilee Kapuya to Olsey. Back to Ashley White. Ball's long. Point for Montgomery Academy. They lead the Trojans now 21-18 as we got timeout on the court for St. James. Play about to resume as Montgomery Academy holds on to a 21-18 lead over St. James. Serve comes in. Allen Browning digs the ball up, gets it to Olsey. Back to Carson Ann Crow. Off the block. Olsey saves it. Bailey Williams hits it in. Kill for Bailey Williams. That's her second kill. Point for St. James. Side out. St. James trailing by 2 now, 21-19. Carson Ann Crow serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the back corner. That's an ace. Ace for Carson Ann Crow. That's her second ace of the match. Gives St. James their 20th point now. The Trojans down by 1, 21-20. Crow floats another one in short. Ball's pushed up to the net. Olsey digs the ball up. Ashley Williams pushes the ball over the block. Ashley White. The ball's out. Point for St. James. That evens the score at 21 all. Carson Ann Crow, number 13, back serving for the Trojans. She floats one into the back corner. The Eagles push it up to the net. Block. Olsey digs the ball up. Browning gets the ball over. Carson Ann Crow gets the ball down. The Eagles in scramble mode. They roll the ball to Carson Ann Crow. She gets it to Olsey. Olsey back to Ashley White. Dug up by the Eagles. They set up their offense on a back row attack. Carson Ann Crow gets the ball to Olsey. Olsey to Bailey Williams. Hits it off the block. The Eagles dig it. Ball's down on the St. James side on the back row. Points for Montgomery Academy. They take a 1-point lead, 22-21 over the Trojans. Number 10. For Montgomery Academy, serving to St. James. Ball served in, played by Marilee Kapuya. Allen Browning pushes the ball to Bailey Williams. Ball tips the net and rolls over. The Eagles set up their offense. Cross-court attack, point for Montgomery Academy. That gives them a 2-point lead now, 23-21. Number 10 for Montgomery Academy, back serving to St. James. She floats the ball over, played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets it to Olsey, to Ashley White. She dunks the ball in. The Eagles in scramble mode. Free ball to St. James, played by Carson Ann Crow. Gets it to Olsey, back to Ashley White. tipped it, safe. The Eagles with a net violation. Point to St. James and a side out. Score now, Montgomery Academy 23, St. James 22. Bailey Williams floats one in, down the line, short, gets the ball over. Ball's tipped. Marilee Capulla gets the ball up. Ashley White pushes the ball over the net. Montgomery Academy sets up their offense. That ball's down. Point to Montgomery Academy. That's set point. Montgomery Academy 24, St. James 22. Set point for the Eagles. Number 11 serving for Montgomery Academy to St. James. Ball floats over, played by Carson Ann Crow. She gets it to Olsey, Olsey to White. She pushes the ball to the back of the defense. Marilee Capulla gets the ball. Kathleen Wright saves it for Carson Ann Crow. She rolls it over the net. Montgomery Academy sets up their attack. Dug by Bailey. Bailey Williams gets it to Olsey, Olsey to Ashley White. Ashley White with her second kill. She finds it in the middle of the Eagles defense. Point to St. James. They trail by one now. Montgomery Academy 24, St. James 23. Emily Olsey, number 10, serving for St. James as Montgomery Academy calls a timeout on the court. Play resumes with Montgomery Academy with a 1-point lead over St. James, 24-23. Emily Poundstone serving for the Trojans. Ball comes in, floats it to the back row. The Eagles set up their offense. Dug up by Carson Ann Crow. She gets it to Poundstone. Back to Marilee Capulla, off the block and down. Kill for Marilee Capulla. That's her second. Nice play by the Trojans. That evens the score at 24 all. Poundstone still back serving for St. James. Uh-oh. Got an injury on the court. Obero for Montgomery Academy, injured on the play, stays in the game. Trojans take their side of the court. Potential stall tactic with water on the court. Poundstone serving for the Trojans with a tie score, 24 all. Got to win by 2. The ball whistled in, serves the ball in. Short serve, push to the net. Montgomery Academy attacker hits the ball off the St. James block and out of bounds. Montgomery Academy takes the lead, 25-24. Serves the ball in the net. Couldn't have happened at a better time. That evens the score at 25 all. Mary Lee Capulia, number 7, back serving for St. James. She floats it into the middle of the Eagle defense, pushes it to the net. Ball's dug up by Bailey Williams. She gets it to Poundstone, over to Crow. Ball's dug up by the Eagles. Ball's pushed up by Capulia to Poundstone, back to Capulia. She rolls the ball long. Point for Montgomery Academy. They take a 1-point lead now over the Trojans, 26-25. Number 1 for MA, serving for the Trojans. Serves the ball to Bailey Williams. Bailey Williams gets the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow. Down the line and out of bounds. That's a kill for Carson Ann Crow. That's her 11th. Point for St. James. That evens it at 26 all. Alan Browning, number 8, back serving for the Trojans. This is a battle, folks. She floats a serve into the back left corner, pushes it to the net. Ball's gotten up. Free ball to St. James. Browning pushes it to Poundstone. Poundstone to Crow. Ball's down, dug up by the Eagles. Push the ball over in the corner. Roll. St. James in the net. Net violation on St. James. Gives Montgomery Academy a 1-point lead, 27-26. Number 5 for the Eagles, back serving to St. James. Serve comes in, played by Carson Ann Crow. She pushes it to Poundstone. Back to Crow. Ball's dug up. Olsey pushes the ball to Poundstone. Poundstone back over to Crow in the corner. Down the line. Kill for Carson Ann Crow. Poundstone to Crow. That evens the score at 27 all. Emily Olsey, number 16, back serving for the Trojans. She floats one in down the line, pushes it up to the net. Dug up by Olsey. Olsey gets it to Bailey Williams. Bailey Williams, Mary Lee Capulia hits it over, rolls it over the block. Dug up by Mary Lee Capulia. Olsey gets the ball over to Crow. And down. Kill for Carson Ann Crow. Olsey to Crow. Point for St. James. Set point for St. James. St. James over leading Montgomery Academy 28-27. Olsey floats one over down to the back corner. That's it, folks. St. James beats Montgomery Academy 29-27. Great crosstown matchup. It's always nice to beat your rival. St. James wins 29-27.